Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Fearless Thinking, a podcast designed to help you navigate authentic leadership and the entrepreneurial journey. I'm your host, Michael Devous, and these are my thoughts, lessons, and insights from my entrepreneurial journey into coaching, workshops, motivational speaking, and of course, what I picked up from interviews with inspiring leaders and entrepreneurs along the way. My mission is to help people unlock their untapped potential by using fear as a catalyst for powerful change and growth, so they can step into the greatest version of their most authentic selves. All right, let's get into some fearless thinking. Hey, Fearless Thinkers, welcome back to episode 45, the last episode of this week that I am re-recording in the same shirt at the same time because I recorded all of them without sound. As you know, this week we've been exploring resiliency and integrity. Well, this was the topic I was going to talk about anyway, but I've been applying my recent experiences of being evacuated due to forest fires, because this has created a new mind shift for me and a new set of perspectives that I had not had before. Not that I encourage you to get, I wouldn't want you to go through a crisis, but it's going to happen at some point in your life, and being prepared for these things. Well, I guess, we were talking about falling to our habits and falling to our training. Remember that as entrepreneurs, while taking on the additional responsibility of bringing your passion and your dream to life in the world, you will be challenged with a lot of different fears that you're going to face while on that road. But you will also have new obstacles because you have invited them. You have announced to the universe that you want to do, have, or become something new and different and greater than the current version of yourself. And as a result, the universe will be placing those Gold's Gym weights of opportunity in front of you so that you can grow into that version of yourself that you said you want to be. So today in episode 45 of Fearless Thinking podcast, Mastering Your Inner Fire, Emotional Resilience in the Face of Crisis. I mean, did I have emotional resilience in the face of crisis? You know what? I think I did. I think I did during it. It was afterwards that I had my breakdown. It was afterwards that I kind of crashed hard, calling a few friends of mine and people that I love to share with them my particular struggle. It was coming off the face of burying and saying goodbye to a very dear friend of mine that was like a brother to me for 30 years. And then this crisis. So I think I had been holding that emotional weight and that, from his death inside for a while. I had held on to it until I could let it go. And this situation kind of broke that wide open. So as we look at and dive into the transformative power of emotional mastery, drawing from our own personal experiences, my own personal experience with the wildfire evacuation, I wanted to explore how controlling our emotions can be a really amazing strength during challenging times, and how do we cultivate emotional resilience to empower us to navigate life's storms with grace and determination. It's really challenging to control our emotions. Our emotions are, people are like, you can't control your emotions, they just pop up. Well, I would argue that, yes, individuals who don't practice the art of controlling your emotions, individuals who just let their emotions fly, yeah, you can't. You're right, you absolutely can't. You cannot control your emotions because you don't practice controlling your emotions. In fact, you let your emotions control you because that's what you think you must do. That's what you think you have to do. In fact, you abdicate responsibility for your life, probably because your emotions. You probably say, well, it happened because of X, Y, and Z, and I was so angry, and they made me get angry. And I'll bet you money, anybody that says, I can't control my emotions is somebody that blames other people for how they feel. Think about that. Now, diving into the heart of emotional mastery, right? We're going to explore some of the emotional resilience practices that can be a lifeline for us when we face real world crisis. Actually, I'm going to rephrase that. Not real world. Everything's real world. If it's in your world and it's happening to you, whether it's a fire coming over the hill or it's a leaky faucet getting in the way of you being productive today. It's real world. That's your real world crisis. Now, crises can be very different depending on your perspective, what you've learned and what you've done and what you've experienced in the past. But these can be a real test of who we are in the face of them, right, when they happen. And as my family and I faced the wildfires and having to evacuate, the fear of uncertainty and loss of control for me was a real test of my emotional resilience. And in the midst of this chaos, I discovered something powerful. Our emotions don't have to control us. This is what I was saying before. We do have a choice, and there's this space between stimulus and response, as Viktor Frankl so eloquently put it. The space between stimulus and response lies our power, right? So in the space between the moment something happens and our reaction to it lies our power, our authority, our ability to make a decision. And I realized, even though my anxiety was skyrocketing, and I got help for that, by the way, I went to my doctor to get help for it. So if you need help for it, please see your doctor, talk to a therapist, talk to a friend. It's a real thing. Anxiety is real, and you can do things to take care of it and help you navigate it so you don't have to do it alone. And there are some wonderful meds out there that just help take that, turn the volume down on the anxiety so that you can move forward to get work done. And I realized at that moment, well, in the midst of it, I had an ability to choose my response. I could let fear consume me, or I could use this as fuel to take action and protect my family. And I am one of those individuals. I don't know if you are, but when crisis happens, a car wreck, somebody has an accident, somebody's bleeding out, whatever it is, I am the one to be down there on the ground, knees in the dirt, holding their bloody whatever, putting a tourniquet on it, helping them out, doing CPR, breathing them through it, whatever it is. I'm that person. I don't take care of me and my emotions until afterwards. I'm not one of those persons to stand back and use my phone to record the situation. I do not understand how people can do that. I guess we need those individuals because then they can capture what's taking place. But my first thought is not, let me get my phone out and capture this. My first thought is jump in and help. Because there's limited time to make a difference in situations like that. And I'm not a sideliner, you know what I mean? I don't sit there. I get in there and get in the dirt, get in the blood, help in the moment of crisis. And I was doing that for my family here, where I was running around, running hundreds and hundreds of feet of hose, raking up debris, trying to get it out of the way, creating a water line at the back of the property between us and the fire, making sure things were packed and loaded and shut off and da-da-da, moving gas cans and what have you, my parents, who are both slightly aging, couldn't move as fast as me, couldn't get things done as quick as I can. And so I felt responsible for making sure that stuff happened so that they didn't have to freak out. They could concentrate on getting their belongings together and get their things ready so that we could get out of here when the time came. And the essence of, I guess, emotional mastery, which is just, it's not about suppressing our emotions, which I've known people who do that. I understand the desire to do that. I really just don't think that's, to say that they suppress them feels like, I guess it's real. I just don't think you can. I think your emotions are always going to find a way to surface. And for people who constantly suppress them, it becomes toxic, and it suppresses. And I mean, it appears as toxicity. It comes up as infections, sickness, high blood pressure, emotional, disturbances, instability, those things, right? So even though you think you're suppressing it, you're really not doing anything but forcing it to come out in other ways. I believe you need to understand your emotions enough to accept them and then choose how to respond to them by suggesting and saying, hey, time and a place, we need to get this and focus on these things currently in front of us. I'm going to put you on the sideline over here. You guys get in the back seat, pack your things. We got to take care of some stuff. I'll get back to you in a little bit. You're going to be good. We're going to be okay. I got this, right? Emotional regulation is a skill just like any other, and it takes practice. and patience and willingness to actually learn this. And the rewards doing so are immeasurable. Unfortunately, in order to practice these things, you kind of have to be in situations of crisis. You kind of have to be in situations of overwhelm and obstacles in front of you. It's like my stepdad always said, you can't practice being in a relationship unless you're in a relationship. Like, you actually have to do the thing. You can't practice walking on shards of glass unless you've walked on shards of glass. It comes with all the risk inherent in the experience. But if you go into it understanding that you have the ability to make a choice in the midst of these crises, and you can speak to your emotions and talk to those parts of yourself and calm them down and say, I'll get back to you. We need to address this immediately. We need to focus on these things in front of us. Please take a seat. I'll be right with you. I'm sorry, Fear, you didn't have an appointment today. You're going to have to take a number, and I'll get back to you in a minute. When we master our emotions, we become more resilient and adaptable and better equipped to handle life's challenges. As a result, by the way, we can become better leaders, partners, friends, and human beings all the way around. As I close out this week talking about these things, I've talked about the Ascend Hub. I'm still talking about the Ascend Hub. I'm very proud of this launch. I'm very proud of this online community where we bring together aspiring entrepreneurs, mentors, and leaders and executives to help one another along our journey to find the resources, the coaching, the workshops, and the support that we need to be hugely successful. And one of those things is building our own resilience and mastering our emotions as leaders. And I think there are ways that we can do that at the Ascend Hub. I feel like we can create a community built to helping us develop these essential skill sets, right? To overcome those things that we need to overcome, but together offering a supportive community with personalized guidance, expert-led resources to empower us on our journey to emotional mastery, right? And our journey to success, professionally and personally. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling burnt out and you're feeling like your emotions are controlling you, remember, you do have the power within you to change that. It does start with recognizing that your emotions are and understanding your triggers and choosing that response between action and reaction. The power lies in that moment, and that serves you and serves everybody that you love. Understand that this is practice. You can do it. And if you need help, please feel free to reach out. You can find us at Fearless Thinking, at fearlessthinking.com, Fearless Thinking on YouTube, or join us at theascendhub.com. Get in early. The specials are going on right now. Don't miss this opportunity to become a founding member. And we will see you guys on the other side. Do some fearless thinking this weekend. Have an incredible weekend. Love on your loved ones. Love on yourself. And remember, think fearlessly. Okay.